Property Brothers star Drew Scott is a former personal trainer. Take a tour of his epic gym home. Drew Scott is letting fans know how to keep their bodies looking as good as the houses he fixes up. The Property Brothers star showed off his home gym in a YouTube video shared on February 26, in which he also revealed some of his favorite exercises. "I'm getting up there in years, so it's not just about lifting heavy and trying to put on muscle," he said in the video tour. "For me, it's more about having longevity of enjoyable life, which means being able to move. I would like to touch my toes when I'm 80 years old. It's important for me to work out because I have other things in my life," he said. The HGTV star mentioned he continues to renovate houses and also made a recent cameo in Oscar winner Ke Huy Quan's new movie, Love Hurts. "I had to do a fight sequence, and for me, I haven't been in martial arts in a very long time," he continued, adding that he was a national champion in Shotokan Karate for 7 or 8 years. Scott talked about how he's a former personal trainer, something a lot of people don't know about him. "I went to school for kinesiology for 4 years," he shared. "I studied the body. My main goal was always to make sure that somebody had more flexibility and more movement so they could do everyday tasks without feeling pain." Here are some of Scott's tips for how he gets maximum results from his garage workouts. Pilates. Scott said Pilates is the most amazing thing, even for men who may look down on it. "This is the best thing in the world," he said, pointing to a Pilates reformer that his wife, Linda Fan, had the idea of getting. "Once I started working out here, I realized how much this helps every aspect of my workout, and also it helps me just in life, too," he said, adding it's eased the burden of carrying his 2-year-old son, Parker, while also enabling him to do squats and upper body exercises. Dumbbells. Scott, who is father to Parker and baby daughter Piper, keeps 2 different sets of dumbbells in his garage, including an adjustable one that helps save space. In addition, he has adjustable kettlebells. "Whoever initially came up with the idea of adjustable dumbbells, I love you," he said. Scott has a bike, but admits, "I rarely use it, preferring instead to use it as a 2-minute warm-up because he doesn't like cardio." Cables. Scott said he's developed issues in his arms and wrists due to carrying Parker, so he has cables on a wall, saying, "It gives me the versatility to do all the different exercises that I need." He also has a cable machine that lets him do weight training, resistance band training, and damper training, which is similar to a rowing machine. "Any cable exercise you want, you can do it here. In fact, I can adjust the weight for the push and the pull," he said while demonstrating on his cable machine. Scott showed how his TRX set enables him to lean back and work on his back. "So if I wanted to do any sort of a bodyweight exercise, I have my TRX. I used to travel with this all the time," he shared. "But you can lean back and you can do back exercises, pulls, whatever you want." 6 famous celebrities that you probably didn't know were born in Vancouver. Canada has its fair share of claims to fame when it comes to big-name celebrities, and lots of them hailed from the West Coast. Known as the Hollywood of the North, it might not come as a surprise that Vancouver is the hometown of many a famous face, with many popular shows and movies filmed in the city. Maybe you're in Vancouver and wondering which celebrities roamed the same streets as you, and perhaps still frequent the city. Or perhaps you're just a curious Canadian looking at homegrown talent. Either way, it's interesting to see just how many stars once called Vancouver home, and which ones that still do. This famous duo, known for their iconic home renovation show, big personalities and charm, was born and raised in Vancouver. Jonathan and Drew Scott are well known for their HGTV series, and although they are now based in LA, they still have ties to their Canadian home. The HGTV website says that the twins were raised on a ranch in Vancouver and bought their first house 17 years old and got flipping. In a chat with Narcity, Jonathan Scott shared the spots in Vancouver where he wants to take his fiancée, celebrity Zooey Deschanel. Stanley Park, Maple Ridge, where they grew up, and Granville Island hold a special place in his heart. True How I Met Your Mother will know that Smolders is a Vancouverite. In an interview with Elle Canada, she said, in true Canadian fashion, that Tim Hortons is a first stop when she comes home. She also said that her childhood in the city involved lots of outdoor adventures, with visits to Pender and Main Island and time spent exploring nature. The Canadian Encyclopedia said that Smolders was born in White Rock and moved to Vancouver in her teens. While she's since moved away, she still makes her way to BC sometimes and is spotted out and about. She may have headed across the border, but she still makes her Canadianness known. Her Instagram bio reads, "A Canadian girl living in." Finn Wolfhard is known best for his role on Stranger Things, which launched him into stardom. His roots are in Vancouver though, where he was born and raised. He went to high school in the Mount Pleasant neighborhood, and he's still spotted around town sometimes, including last year he stopped by Whack Whack Burger, a food truck in the city. He also gave his hometown a shout-out on the popular interview show, Hot Ones. Vancouver, I feel like, is a place where I can get bored and just go out in nature and walk around, and it's very inspiring, Wolfhard said on the show. Wolfhard also shouted out some local faves like Science World and the Britannia Mines, both top-tier school field trip destinations. You may remember a time when Seth Rogen was the voice over the SkyTrain speakers, or perhaps when the Vancouver Aquarium named an octopus after him. Gotta love Seth Rogen. That's all thanks to his Vancouver roots. Rogen grew up in the city and still visits, popping by local restaurants. Rogen also appeared on Hot Ones, and apparently Sean Evans loves some Vancouver talk. While facing the heat of the spicy wings, he was forced to reminisce on a day spent in Tsawwassen when they brought Evan Goldberg to ask him a question. Long story short, Rogen abandoned his bestie when some older kids ambushed them at a paintball spot in town. I run off into the woods as literally all my friends get annihilated, he admitted. You might recognize Anna Cathcart from the beloved To All the Boys movies, or the spin-off series, XO Kitty, both of which she plays the role of Kitty in. The actress still calls Vancouver home, and even took on the tour guide role when she got to film All the Boys. P.S. I still love you in the city. Cathcart told Narcity in an interview that she showed the cast around Vancouver, taking them to hot spots like Science World and Granville Island. A BC celebrity list can't go without mentioning arguably the most recognizable name to come out of the city. Reynolds is a well-known Canadian who grew up in Vancouver. This may not come as a surprise since his Instagram handle is an ode to his hometown, hey, at Vancouver Reynolds, but it is still worth a mention. There's been loads of public references to his childhood in Vancouver, including a story he told on Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show about a local newspaper publishing a picture of him at Kitts Community Centre. Another fun fact about his Vancouver life is that he was a paperboy for the Vancouver Sun. He posted about his first job on Instagram, sharing a painting of him at work. He also worked at Safeway when he was 19 and wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he bagged groceries for Sarah McLachlan there.